Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America. And how horrific was Democrat vice presidential nominee and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's debate performance? It was so horrific that even liberals are roasting him. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please visit that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@explainamerica. And please hit subscribe absolutely for free when you get there. Tim Walz gave what may be one of the worst debate performances of all time for a vice presidential candidate. And that's saying something because there's been some doozies. But this was ridiculously bad. At one point, he mistakenly said he was friends with school shooters. And what he meant to say was the families of the victims of school shooters. And I think I've seen that spread around a lot today. It's not fair. That's not what he was trying to say. He made a mistake. He was obviously, I think, very nervous. You're on national TV. Millions of people are watching you. You're not really used to debating. I really understand that. I do. No, all the debate prep in the world doesn't get you really prepared for that, in my opinion. I sympathize with him as somebody who suffers from anxiety myself. I don't know if he does, but I think he was anxious last night. That being said, his answers were non-answers. And I noticed something. He said he was in Tiananmen Square. That was a lie. He's talked about being in war. That was a lie. And for some reason, the media, when Tim Walz lies, they say he misspoke. But when a Republican lies, they say he lied. How do you misspeak about being in a war? How do you misspeak about being in Tiananmen Square when the Chinese crackdown happened? That's not a misspeak. I know if I was in war. I know if I was in China when the Chinese government cracked down on protesters. How do you not know that? That's not misspeaking. That's lying. He lied. He's lied about so much of his life. It's insane. And he was so tragic in that debate that even liberal hosts at CNN were roasting him. I want you to take a look at this and let me know what you think in the comments.
Quite possible that both men achieved that task.
Yeah, I think this was kind of the rehab debate. Rehab in terms of image. Certainly that was the case of J.D. Vance. That was his goal of trying to rehab his image, and more importantly, the image of the guy at the top of the ticket. But I'm not sure at the end of the day it's really going to matter. I just want to say right before you came on, we did see something that kind of speaks to what I'm saying. The candidates chatting, their wives came up chatting. That was not something we saw anything close to in the presidential.
I think we shouldn't lose track, I think even in the civility of the fact that J.D. Vance came to this debate to land a bunch of punches, and he did. He landed a lot of punches in between all the niceties and all of that. And the thing that really stood out to me was that Tim Walz did not seem prepared for it. He didn't respond to a lot of the criticisms and attacks that Vance put on the table. He allowed some clear falsehoods to just go completely unanswered. He allowed J.D. Vance essentially to dodge on a whole host of issues, on climate change, on the issue of his flip-flopping on Donald Trump. He allowed Vance initially to claim that Trump salvaged the Affordable Care Act. It took him several sentences to get to the part of his answer, Walz's answer, where he actually responded to that. I think there was a clear lack of preparation and execution here on Walz's part.
I think actually it's the opposite. I think he had too much preparation.
Maybe, yeah.
He had so many lines that he was clearly trying to say that he didn't listen and said when J.D. Vance said one of the many, many things he really hit Kamala Harris on, not Tim Walz, but Kamala Harris, he didn't respond because he clearly had things in his mind. I think the lack of interviews that he has done with national media, with local media,